Good evening and welcome to Delone Catholic High School for the Hall of Honor induction for the class of 2024. I'm thrilled to be able to welcome you back as we honor 5 incredibly deserving individuals who have given so much to Delone Catholic and to the world and community around them. My name is Eric Lawrence. I'm a 1998 graduate of Delone Catholic and the Director of Advancement. And I am going to turn it over now to Mr. William Lippy, our principal, for a few words of welcome. Mr. Lippy.
I confess I'm not that hungry, so the few words of welcome may be many words of welcome. No, I'll keep them brief. If you were here a year ago or 2 years ago, you would have observed a much smaller crowd. At this point, the tables are crowding upon the podium. A testimony, I think, to the success of this event and the importance of this event in the life of the school. 5 worthy individuals who have dedicated time, talent, and treasure to the well-being of Delone Catholic High School and its legacy, its mission. They're justly and rightly to be recognized and celebrated this evening. And I welcome all of you in joining us in that effort. I wrote in the Squire Wire earlier today, published to our parents and other stakeholders, that the 5 inductees, Mr. Dave Lawrence, a member of the class of 1969, Mrs. Susan Arigo, née Staub, class of 1981, Mr. D. Stephen Mathias, class of 1973, Miss Ann Kerr, and the late John T. Jack Miller, class of 1965, that in the various capacities in which they served, extracurricular moderator, teacher, athletic director, twice, coach, or public servant, each of them demonstrated in their diverse ways the virtue of placing others before self and commitment to the common good, in this case, especially the common good of Delone Catholic High School. In brief, each has demonstrated the spirit of a squire, what it means to be a squire, and in so doing, has continued and expanded the legacy of the school's founder, the late Charles Delone, Esquire. Charles Delone, Esquire, and his wife died childless, as we know. All of you, all of us, are his children. I asked Tim Knoll, Moose, affectionately known as Moose. Frankly, I'm not quite sure why Tim is called Moose. If Charles Delone could have anticipated this. And Moose was actually quite confident that he could have. I'm a little less sanguine about what Charles Delone could have anticipated back in 1940. The fact that the school has continued its legacy now for almost 85 years, educating generations of students in the faith, preparing them for lives of service after the model of squires, understudies to knights. There is a way in which these 5 individuals are no longer squires. They've attained knighthood. And this ceremony is meant to recognize that. And in keeping with the bestowal of knighthood, which in medieval times was a religious, a quasi-religious practice, it is fitting in that case to invite my dear friend, Father Dwight Schleyline, class of 2000, and pastor of the Basilica of the Sacred Heart in Conoago, to provide the benediction over our banquet and upon these plaques whereby those who are inducted are memorialized this evening. Welcome, everyone. We're glad you're here, and have a good evening. Father Dwight.
Let us bow our heads in prayer. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. The eyes of all creatures look to you to give them food in due time. You give it to them, they gather it up. You open your hand, they have their fill. Lord God, we thank you and praise you for the many blessings that you bestow upon this venerable institution of Delone Catholic High School. We thank you for how you've worked in Susan Arigo, Ann Kerr, David Lawrence, D. Stephen Mathias, and John Miller. We ask for your blessing upon this conversation that we will engage in this evening, upon this food, upon those who prepared it, upon all alumni, students, faculty, and staff of Delone Catholic, and upon these plaques which we bless in your name. And we pray together, bless us, O Lord, and these thy gifts which we are about to receive from thy bounty through Christ our Lord. Amen. Almighty God bless these plaques in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. I should be here with you. God bless.
Today holds a little bit of an extra special mark on the map. It is actually the 160th birthday of Charles Delone, who was born on this day in 1864. So we celebrate this day as Founders Day and remember him for the incredible gift that he has given to all of us. And at this time, I would like to introduce Santoni's Marketplace and Catering. They will be taking care of dinner for us, and if you need anything, ask them. And we're thrilled to have you here, and enjoy. As we get started here for the induction for the class of 2024, we're really fortunate this year for the first time to have a presenting sponsor. We have Thrivent with us, and the generous support they have given us is helping to underwrite tonight's dinner and ceremony. And I'd like to invite Shannon Storch and Molly Bruce up to say a few words about Thrivent and what they do. Come on up.
Was that not one of the most delicious meals you've ever had? Oh, I know. Let's one more time. That was amazing. The beef tips. Well, we're so grateful to be here tonight. I want to present first with a question for you as we're about to go into a very important evening. Who in your life would you think would be in your own personal Hall of Honor? What are the characteristics that they show? Is it generosity, kindness, giving of their resources and time? As I think about my own personal Hall of Honor, one of the first people that comes to mind is my father. Hank Jancic, he's a coach at Gettysburg College for a number of years. And something that my dad always says, and when I look over his life and his career, his legacy, he always says that at the end of your life, two things really matter. First, the causes that you believe in, and second, the relationships that matter to you. Really, it all boils down to that. And so now what we get to do with Thrivent is just that. We get to partner with people who have causes they believe in and relationships that they care about to leave long-lasting legacies. And we're so excited to be here with Delone because we believe in your community and want to do that right here. Shannon?
Thank you, Molly. Good evening, everyone. My name is Shannon Storch, and I've been involved with Catholic education for the past 40 years of my life. I am a product of K through 12 education. My graduate degree is at a Catholic university. I was a teacher, a principal, and a professor at Catholic schools. And my favorite title is to say that I am a parent of a freshman at Delone Catholic. Thank you. It has been an absolute blessing. Working in schools, I decided to jump careers and start a career with Thrivent. And I was surrounded by a company now that it's a Fortune 500 company that does financial services, but we are not for profit. So the money that we make goes back to communities to do generosity projects. And I know all the hardworking people in schools, and sometimes there's limited financial resources. So we approached Delone to see if we could be of service to this school and to provide some financial resources to not only help the teachers, the students, but everybody else in this room who cares about this school and help them financially. So we wanted to share one way that we do that and then end with another possible way that we do that as well. So I want to turn it back over to Molly.
Sure. So one of the first ways we do that is through something called action teams, which we're going to show a video for in just a minute. And what action teams are is if you're a member with Thrivent, either by being a client or member, or if you even just buy your membership for $20 a year, you have access to seed money to do awesome things in the community. It starts with $250 worth of seed money that you can use for different projects, different departments. Basically, you can use it for fundraisers, all kinds of things. And that's what we're going to show you here in this video.
Well, good morning, Donna. I'm Terry Rasmussen. I am the president and CEO of Thrivent. And on behalf of everyone at Thrivent, I just want to say congratulations to you. You are leading our 1 millionth action team.
I eat, breathe, live horticulture, so anything about seed starting, anything about growing plants, trees, shrubs, that's me. I think it's about the beginning of new life. You know, I think that God gives us each talents, and my talent is bringing things to life through seeds and cuttings. To me, it's always miraculous to watch seeds pop out of the ground because you go from nothing to something, and it's just, I think it just reminds me that every day God provides miracles, and you know, seeds coming up is that miracle. I was gifted a small inheritance from a lady that I helped take care of, and I was looking for options for investing that money. Because of how she led her life, I found out that Thrivent had action teams, and I thought, hey, this would be a good place for me to go because then every year I would have an opportunity to use the action teams to give back to that community. My action team is starting seeds to grow transplants, and those transplants will be given to community gardens. Plants will grow and then in turn feed families that are in need, or they will all feed into the food pantry system that we have. I have a crew of about 15 master gardeners that come out and help me. Right now we have 9 community gardens that are receiving transplants from us. We're in communities in the Boot Heel of Missouri where poverty is a very big problem. So we are reaching out not just here in the local community, but even further in an 18-county area. When people visit the community gardens and work in the community gardens, they will take that back to their homes and replicate that in their own lives, in their own backyards.
To think that there's been over 1 million of these action teams and the money that it's raised, the lives that have been impacted. I mean, you're talking about an impact that no other company can have like we can because of those action teams.
It just seems lately everywhere I go, I ask, do you know what Thrivent is? Go talk to them because there are opportunities for give back. It gets me so excited when I talk about Thrivent and the opportunities that it gives. It's amazing being the 1 millionth, just thinking about 1 million teams, action teams that have been on the ground doing these different projects that have fed right back into the community. I'm trying to keep spreading the word so that we can do more.
So on that note about action teams, we have a prop with us, this wonderful blank check, and something that we want you all to think about. We have over 100 people in this room, and action teams are at least $250 each. Sometimes people get more than that per year to use. So think about that, 25 times 100, $25,000 of power in this room of seed money that could be used for something like a program at Delone you want to see go on for generations to come. Our table is full of former principals, of teachers, of alumni, of volunteers, people that we're hearing stories about who want to see Delone impact the community and impact students for years and years to come. And that's why we're here. We want to see that happen. So Shannon's going to share one more way we hope to do that.
Yeah, we're here to celebrate Delone tonight, but for anybody in here who feels about being generous for the causes that you believe in, we are a Christian-based nonprofit company that helps charities, churches, nonprofits. So over at our table, we have some cards there. If you would like to bless any of those organizations that you care about that are outside of these walls, we'd love to hear about that and try to get some money to those organizations as well. There's a lot of people in here honoring the past of Delone. There's a lot of people in here, and myself included, that get to honor the present of Delone as well. And what I love to hear about schools that have a legacy is they start thinking about generations, that their grandparents were here, their parents, I was here, to think about their children and their future grandchildren attending this school as well. So I also wanted to mention that we work alongside with Eric, if anybody's interested about thinking about the Seton Society and making a planned gift in the future to help another generation or two walk through these doors and impact their lives, and to be sitting here honoring this school in not only the next 20, 50, 100 years again. So we're honored to be here. We're honored to be a part of the Delone family, and just want to thank Matthew and Eric and the rest of the administration for letting us in your walls. So thank you, everyone, and we'd be happy to talk with you at the end of the presentation, and if you want a free t-shirt, we'd be happy to give those away too. So thank you, Eric. Thank you, Molly.
Thank you again, Shannon and Molly, for the generous support of Thrivent as we go forward with our recognition of the past and present and future. I kind of give a history and purpose of the Hall of Honor when we get to this point each year. And prior to last year's induction, in the context of a regular administrative staff meeting, Mr. Lippy made an observation that I would like to again share. We have here what is really a twofold responsibility at Delone Catholic High School. First and foremost, our mission is to form disciples of Jesus Christ, and ultimately to produce saints for the kingdom of heaven. In order to do that, we have to remember and honor our past while preparing and adapting for the future. With numerous challenges and opportunities drawing our attention, it can be easy to lose sight of those who have done so much to bring us to where we are today. Nearly a decade ago, we discussed introducing the Hall of Honor as a way to ensure that we keep an appropriate focus on those individuals without whom Delone Catholic High School could not continue to exist and thrive. Unveiling the Hall of Honor at the school's 75th anniversary celebration in September 2015 seemed to be a perfect match. That also means that we're pushing real hard on the 85th anniversary, so if any of you want to be on the planning committee for that, see us at the end of this. That night, we also inducted the school's founders, those who laid the groundwork for what Delone Catholic has become. The inaugural class also set the standard for future inductees into the Hall of Honor. At this time, I'd like to recognize what, at this point, is the biggest group of Hall of Honor inductees we've ever had in the same place. I'm really excited to welcome back Barb Bueller, Coach Frank Felix from the class of 1967, Jack Kale from the class of 1977, Diane Niederer-Leibelsberger from the class of 1965. Sister Jackie, you're not going to escape the spotlight entirely. Sister Jackie Staub. Tom Coach Staub from the class of 1958. Dave Swope from the class of 1968. And Tony Weaver from the class of 1973. We don't have any others that snuck in without telling me, do we? Okay, good. Ken Cole and Bob Kenworthy, who are both members of the class of 1954, send their regrets at not being able to be with us tonight, but send their congratulations to the class of 2024. I would also like to take a moment to remember Sister Jane Small from the class of 1961 and John Lutz Smith from the class of 1947, two members of the Hall of Honor who passed away since last year's induction. May they, the other deceased members of the Hall of Honor, and the souls of all the faithful departed, through the mercy of God, rest in peace. Amen. The underlying principle of the Hall of Honor is to recognize people who have made a significant contribution to the school over a sustained period of time. That contribution can come in many forms, and it can be either to the direct benefit of Delone Catholic, its students, administration, faculty, and staff, or by improving the larger local, national, and global communities and enhancing the name of Delone Catholic through the good works of its alumni. I am so grateful to my fellow Hall of Honor committee members, past and present, who have spent so much time and energy to ensure that the Hall of Honor is an appropriate recognition of lives well lived in service to others and to Delone Catholic. A wall which was once blank will, after tonight, bear the image of 42 individuals and 3 orders of religious sisters whose stories are woven permanently into the history of Delone Catholic. Though still in its early stages, the Hall of Honor has become an important part of our school's history and serves as a great honor to those in the past, present, and future who have made and will continue to make Delone Catholic a pillar of the Adams-Hanover community. I would like to specifically thank the current members of the selection committee who chose this class that we induct today. Sandy Gingrich, who has been part of this effort from the beginning, the planning of the Hall of Honor. Kim Staub from the class of 1984. 2017 Hall of Honor inductee Tom Coach Staub. 2018 Hall of Honor inductee Frank Felix. And 2019 Hall of Honor inductee Dave Swope, who are all here tonight. New to the committee this year are Mrs. Julia Furman, who is also here, and Amy Miller from the class of 2005 and John Sherdell from the class of 1993, who were unable to join us. A special thank you goes to Sandy and Kim, whose terms on the committee are expiring. Your presence and participation in this effort is greatly appreciated, and you will be missed in this capacity. Thank you both. The class of 2024 is the 9th that we will induct into the Delone Catholic High School Hall of Honor. Though comparatively short-lived by the standard of many of our traditions, it has gained traction as a tradition nonetheless. It is one to which many of us look forward each year, and a newer wrinkle that came about when the class of 2021 induction was forced into virtual status by the COVID pandemic is the professional production of a video capturing the stories of our inductees for posterity and relieving them of what some found to be the profound discomfort of talking about themselves in public. As a result, you can find the archived videos for the classes of 2021, 2022, and 2023 by visiting DeloneCatholic.org and clicking on the DCBN tab. Tonight's festivities will be posted and disseminated to members of the Delone Catholic family far and near once the video is completed. There are other DCBN videos too if you're interested in programming going on here, student activities, promotional videos, and thanks to the handiwork of Tony Weaver and Danny and Bill Smith, who fortunately the schedule allowed to be here tonight, you can catch athletic events all year long, and we appreciate very much the work that you do to bring Delone Catholic to our alumni and friends far and wide. At this time, we turn our attention to a special group of individuals whose accomplishments and contributions are many and varied. The 5 members of this class have contributed to numerous facets of Delone Catholic High School since the early 1960s. We are proud to honor them today and forever. A plaque honoring each member of this class will be hung in the main hallway of the 1940 wing, where everyone who comes to the school can see it. We ask God to hear the prayers that Father Schleilon led on their behalf earlier, and bless the good works they have done and make them fruitful for his kingdom. I mentioned earlier that we have removed what some of our past inductees considered to be the very uncomfortable experience of speaking publicly, no less about themselves, from this experience. We will be playing a professionally produced video segment tonight for each of you, recorded and produced by Kevin Floundlacker from Lakeview Visual, telling the story of our inductees. Kevin, it's great to have you with us again. I'm thrilled to work with you again on this project. And I will then invite Mr. Lippi to present the plaque of recognition to each member of the class. First, we induct Susan E. Staub Arigo from the class of 1981, a fixture of the Adams Deanery Catholic education system for nearly 4 decades, and a longtime coach of the Delone Catholic cheerleading program. She has spent her entire professional career at 316 North Street in McSherrystown, teaching middle school math and religion, among other subjects, at Annunciation BVM School from 1986 to 2017, and at St. Teresa of Calcutta School since. In 2 stints, she directed and mentored our Squire cheerleaders, who not only supported their classmates on the fields and courts, but themselves competed against other squads at cheer camp. Several times, her teams were selected as the top team at camp, which came with an invitation to the National Cheer Association National Competition. In 1991, the team earned 34th place out of more than 100 teams at the national competition in Dallas, Texas. Both in the classroom and with the cheerleading team, she is well known for her exacting standards and her ability to see potential in her charges that they are unable to see in themselves. More importantly, she has been a mentor for countless young people as they navigate the successes and challenges of young adulthood and prepare for life beyond high school.
And when you lay your head down at night and you know you made a difference, wow.
People's lives were changed because of what she did. My name's Joe Arigo. I'm here today to honor my wife for the Hall of Honor here at Delone Catholic High School. Susan became coach in '87. I saw what she could do and what she was doing with the girls, whether it was the actual athleticism of the girls, but more importantly, she would tell me what would happen at practice to make them better people.
Hi, my name is Susan Arigo, and I'm here to be inducted into the Delone Catholic Hall of Honor for the year class of 2024. What we can do as humans will impact others. So it's encouraging that you keep doing that so that you keep reaching out to make a difference. That's why we're here. And if we can't do it, who's going to do it? It's part of the tradition and the community that has always been here at Delone Catholic. And for that to continue, we need to keep that going so that the younger generations can see that so they can continue the tradition as well.
Well, through the years of her coaching here at Delone, our son was born the night of a basketball game that my wife was here, and we left, had our son on a Wednesday, and Friday she was here.
You're giving of yourself for other people. It comes back to you 1,000 times. You know, just one little thing that you do, just a smile that you give someone can make a difference in their lives that you have no idea. Like, I had no idea how these young women felt and the impact I made on them. So if seeing this and seeing my story helps someone else to make good choices in what they do with their gifts and talents, or even going back and saying to a former coach or a former teacher or anyone that mentored them, say thank you. Reach out, let them know the impact that they made, because it snowballs, it keeps going. You're not just coaching a sport, you're coaching a human being, and you're helping them to mature and to become the best person that they can be. So you hope what you did just makes a little impact. But to hear some of their stories the one story, I have not talked to that young woman since she graduated. And to know the impact I made on her life, wow, it's amazing. It just makes you want to keep doing it. You know, not that I want to get back into coaching because those days are over, but to just keep working with young people and to continue to make a difference in their lives. That's what it's all about.
Ladies and gentlemen, Susan Arigo. She might have been back here at the basketball court on Friday night, but she wasn't in the classroom, I can tell you from experience. And when I see Alexander, it makes me realize how old I really am. Next, we induct Ann M. Kerr, an outstanding educator who spent nearly her entire career teaching math at Delone Catholic. From 1978 until 2016, she spent all but 8 years in Squire Country, with those 8 years spent teaching future squires at St. Joseph's School in Hanover. She has a unique gift for teaching the basic concepts of algebra while clearly defining and communicating her expectations. She has continued to use these skills in retirement, both as an adjunct professor at Hack for 4 years and as one of Delone Catholic's most frequent substitute teachers. In fact, last week I looked at her and I said, "I'm pretty sure you're soon going to be full-time again." Outside of class hours, she worked just as diligently, serving as the chair of the math department, National Honor Society moderator, Middle States Planning Committee member, and faculty representative to the PTO, among many others. Arguably, her most influential role has been as a mentor to new faculty members, helping them grow through the challenges that come in the early years of teaching. Several of her mentees have paid this service forward to their younger colleagues, and she is always interested in hearing about the growth of her grand mentees. She was also among the pioneers of girls athletics at Delone Catholic, serving as an assistant basketball coach, an assistant coach, head coach, and volunteer coach for the field hockey program, and she was the first coach of the softball program from 1979 until 1983, laying the groundwork for a program that has been a perennial contender for league and district championships.
Blessed. I feel very blessed. I was blessed to find out about the job, be hired here, get to coach and teach, and be here for so long.
You're looking for an example of being a doer of the word. She fits the bill. My name is Barbara Bueller. I was at Delone from 77 to 03. I was a colleague of Ann's, and I'm very happy that we're here to honor her tonight.
My name is Ann Kerr, and I'm here today to be inducted into the Hall of Honor. So I'm a senior in college, Indiana University of Pennsylvania, and I get a phone call from Diane Leibelsberger, who I did not know. She was coaching here and teaching here. She called me because she needed a goalie coach for field hockey for a camp that she used to run in Hanover back in the day. To this day, and I've talked to Diane about this many times, how did you get me? And she says, I don't remember. A couple days later, she calls me back. She says, you said you had a math degree. Do you have a job in the fall? I said, no. Do you want me to have Father send you an application for Delone? Because we need a math teacher next year, and I need a coach.
She did everything she did with the greatest integrity, and that is her accomplishment. Integrity and respect. I think that those two words sum up Ann Kerr.
I am most proud of my dedication, how long I taught, but the students that went on and what they did, and I'm proud of the fact that they remember my class and still come up to me. And sometimes I haven't seen them for years, and they'll see me, and they'll say, Miss Kerr, you haven't changed. My response is, that's because I looked like I was in my 60s when I was 20. So if you look old when you're young, you never change. It's great.
She didn't look for accolades and all that. That wasn't important to her. Doing her best, doing what she believed in, being with her students as much as she could, that was important, and I think that's what Delone stands for.
I'm proud I put a lot of hard work into it. I mean, it's my vocation. It was what who I am, what I did.
I can't think of anyone more deserving.
I didn't do 30 years here looking for any honors. I just love doing it. And I still, I come back and I sub. Like being with the kids. I used to tell the kids, you're the best part of my day, and they'd look at me like, what? I said, are you kidding? This is why I'm here. Not for the meetings after school. I'm here for you, and I love being with you. You energize me. I'm proud that I was able to do all that and live to tell.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ann Kerr. Next, we induct David L. Lawrence from the class of 1969. A mainstay in the Delone Catholic Athletic Department for decades, he has been a volunteer, a longtime coach, and has served 2 stints as the director of athletics. Following the example of his parents, he has been a volunteer for the Athletic Association for most of his adult life. In the early 1990s, he was a JV baseball coach, and he joined the varsity staff as the pitching coach for fellow Hall of Honor inductee Frank Felix and for Alan Felix from the class of 1993. Together, they oversaw the longest stretch of sustained success in the baseball program's history. Dave was a part of 11 division championships and 16 District 3 playoff appearances in 20 seasons. In December 2011, he took the reins of the entire athletic department until his retirement in 2017, overseeing scheduling, field preparation, game management, hiring of coaches, and numerous other tasks which go into providing a top-notch student-athlete experience. In retirement, he has served as a mentor to his successors and a part-time game manager, allowing the load of a 19-sport program to be shared. He further demonstrated his devotion to Delone Catholic and its students when he filled an unexpected vacancy, returning as the interim director of athletics from January to June of 2023.
The Hall of Honor just does not feel complete without Dave Lawrence being a member of it.
I love Delone Catholic, and I loved everything I did here.
My name's Tim Bonnetts. I'm the assistant principal for student life at Delone Catholic, and today we're here to induct Mr. Dave Lawrence into the Delone Catholic Hall of Honor. I think most people will know and remember Dave for his quick wit, his kind words of encouragement, his jovial ribbing, as they say in McSherrystown. Always a word for somebody. Can't get past him without him saying something, always with a smile. I think for me, though, with Dave, despite everything he's done for this school, whether it be, the championships under his tenure as athletic director, teams he's coached, his volunteer efforts, I think what really stands out to me is his legacy and his gift is he has a true heart of a servant. I think that is his legacy.
My name is Dave Lawrence. I'm the class of 1969, and I'm here for the induction into the Hall of Honor. I didn't need paid for anything. I enjoyed, and like I say, I followed in my dad's footsteps. He enjoyed it, and it was fun, and plus you meet new people and new kids and a lot of peps. One of the things that I always did was I called everybody Pep. I just ran into a guy, a couple months ago, and he said to the waitress, he said, "That was my baseball coach." And of course she knew this story, and she said, "Oh, did he call you Pep?" Yes, he did.
Every time I talked to him, he's like, "Well, I was taking this individual, this friend to a doctor's appointment, or I went and visited this person." I mean, you can't have a better friend than Dave Lawrence. He's someone that, you sleep better at night knowing that you have his phone number, and he would just drop anything and do anything.
I enjoyed every minute of it. I mean, it's been so rewarding. It's just a good feeling that, you've done something for somebody.
I know I'm a better person for knowing Dave Lawrence, and I think the Hall of Honor is an opportunity to highlight individuals like Dave and to show the rest of us this is the way to do things. This is the Delone way. I'm
not one that does something to, get, praised over. I was very fortunate to be one selected, and but that's not why I did it. I did it because I love the school, and if I wouldn't have got it, and no big deal. And top it off, I'm still going to be around, so it's not going to be the end. Knock on wood.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dave Pep Lawrence.
Just one quick word. Like I said, I didn't do it because to get the praise. I did it because I love the school, and I love being around the kids, and that was the most important part. Thank you.
Next, we induct D. Stephen Mathias from the class of 1973, a founding member of the Delone Catholic International Relations Club and a 4-year participant in Model United Nations, whose career has made him one of the highest-ranked lawyers in the United Nations, the real one. As a freshman, he won the Best Novice Debater Award in his first tournament on the way to capping his career in the National Forensic League's national tournament as a senior. He was elected by his peers as student council representative as a freshman, class president as sophomore and junior, and student body president as a senior. He went on to earn a Bachelor of Science in Foreign Service from Georgetown University and a Juris Doctorate from Columbia University. Following a short-lived career in private law practice, he realized that public service law was a better fit. He spent the vast majority of his career from 1987 to 2010 working for the State Department, including a significant stint posted at The Hague, where he worked on the creation of the International Criminal Tribunal for the former Yugoslavia, which ultimately indicted and tried over 160 people accused of war crimes and crimes against humanity, including genocide. He has received Senior Executive Service Awards from both the Clinton and George W. Bush administrations, a Presidential Meritorious Service Award in 2003, and the Director General's Medal from the Multinational Force of Observers, a peacekeeping force helping to carry out the peace treaty between Egypt and Israel. Since 2010, he has been the Assistant Secretary General for Legal Affairs at the United Nations, overseeing the operations of international criminal tribunals, legal oversight of UN peacekeeping operations, providing advisory opinions for the International Court of Justice, the development of new UN legal agreements, and many other related matters.
I think Steve's story demonstrates what somebody who takes his tasks seriously and really puts a lot of effort into it and is personally disciplined can accomplish.
Steve was the ideal person as an example of somebody who had had a distinguished, a productive career in international affairs.
My name is Steve Mathias. I am a member of the Delone Catholic High School class of 1973. I think that my time at Delone did have a great influence on, what I ended up doing. And I think it was Miss Furlong, it was Mr. Monteith, Mr. Glessner. I really had such good experiences with the faculty and all of them kind of saying, try to push yourself a little bit, try to take it a step further.
This is somebody who has, on more than one occasion, represented the United States before the International Court of Justice. That's not something that even every really distinguished international lawyer gets to do.
Steve is perhaps the most significant American right now in the practice of what we call public international law.
One of the things that I've done that I'm very proud of was when I was at the State Department representing the United States at the International Court of Justice in The Hague, or the so-called World Court. And it is an honor to be in a courtroom on behalf of your country, trying to ensure that its legal positions are put forward as clearly as they can be. So that's certainly been a highlight.
He has been working hard and for a long time to find ways to make the world a little less violent, a little more just, a little more fair.
it's an honor for me, to have been nominated for this and chosen for it, and I attribute a lot of what's happened to me in my career to the education that I got at Delone.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Steve Mathias. And finally, we induct John T. Jack Miller, Jr. from the class of 1965, who spent nearly 40 years as a key member of the Delone Catholic Guidance Department. From 1975 until his retirement in December 2009, he assisted thousands of students as they discerned their path in life after high school. He worked with his colleagues to provide access to SAT, ACT, ASVAB, and other college, career, and military preparation testing. He maintained relationships with college admissions departments, kept students and their families current with admission and financial aid processes, and challenged students to match their talents and interests with a wide variety of careers they may have never considered. Every other year, he and his colleagues surveyed students about their career interests and secured speakers to offer real-world advice through career day presentations. He was also present for students through their great achievements, the day-to-day challenges of being a teenager, and some of their biggest disappointments and tragedies. At the end of each academic year, he collected the best college application essays prepared by his students and published them to be presented to members of the faculty so that his colleagues could see the impact they were having on young lives here at Delone Catholic.
There's a lot of things that he did that people probably don't know about that benefited the students here at Delone.
Jack was a really, really good guy. He always gave 100% and beyond.
He loved the kids here. He loved being part of Delone. So it was just part of our lives. My name is Danielle Spila, and I'm here today to accept the award for the Hall of Honor for my father, Jack Miller. I think he was just generally a caring person. He cared about people, and he cared about students, and at his very core, he was an educator.
I'll give him credit. He was a little bit smarter than me, but I think I caught up. My name is Mary Ann Bixler. Today, we're here to honor my big brother, John Jack Miller, Jr. He gave his life for Delone in so many different ways. He was very, very involved as guidance counselor here, and I think he was referred to as Outside Jack because he did his work from a trailer initially. And it was just kind of funny. Where do you work? Well, I work in a trailer.
He loved teaching people and loved kind of working with people. He was a people person. After he retired, he taught carving. He, that's one of the things that people know about him in his later years is that he was a carver. He was a very good carver. He loved it. We still have hundreds of carvings still around our house that are in some stage of completion.
I just wanted to get across my own pride in being a Delone graduate, and I think all of my family members felt the same way. I know Jack did.
One of the things that something like this can do is make people understand that, you have to go out in the world and do things to make people's lives better. And, this is a way to recognize the people that have done that in the past and hopefully inspire those to do that in the future.
I know that I'll never forget my brother, and it's nice to know that he'll be remembered through the Delone community forever. But that's important to me.
He would have been thrilled to be honored. I think he probably would have said, oh, I don't really need that honor, doing the work is enough, but I still think he would have had a little gleam in his eye because he was recognized for the things that he did for the students.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite Danielle Spila to accept induction on behalf of her father, Jack Miller. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the Delone Catholic Hall of Honor class of 2024. Over the years, we have heard so many of our inductees talk about being recognized for work that was only possible because they were blessed to be surrounded by good people. We are so grateful to these teams, and particularly the spouses of our inductees who have often worked side by side to accomplish so much. Thank you doesn't seem like enough, but thank you, Joe Arigo, Deb Lawrence, and Lynn Mathias, who are here tonight. And as we thank Winnie Miller, who passed away at the end of January, we again offer our prayers and condolences to her daughters and grandchildren. Before we wrap up tonight, we have one more video that we want to show you. You're kind of getting in on the ground floor on this. It's only been seen by a handful of people outside the building, and it is a great summation of what Delone Catholic is all about. It was produced back in the fall by Doug Ligor, a member of the class of 1982, and it will be used throughout 2024 as we celebrate the spirit of a squire. I think a Delone Catholic education is important because it's critical to be surrounded by your faith.
When I walk through the doors of Delone Catholic, I see so many opportunities ahead of me.
My father, first of all, went to Delone Catholic.
My pap, my dad, and my brother all had number 10 when they played football at Delone.
All my brothers and sisters, I'm the oldest of 9, we all went to Delone. There's kind of like a generational thing, you know, really powerful here at Delone.
My mom and then my grandparents and then my great-grandparents all went here, so it shows really what Delone meant to them to send me here.
I think it's a given that families continue to send their kids here and then their grandkids come here. I think it's because of the experience they have when they're here. I think that you've just fallen in love.
I graduated here in 2017. Now coming back as a teacher, it feels like coming home. All of the things that you took from your high school career are still here, and I can also try to give back to my students what my teachers gave to me.
I think a Catholic education is important because we get to learn more about God and learn how to be better disciples of Him.
We're held to a higher standard of character here that really helps us in our future lives.
I think servant leadership is important for a squire because that's what we're called to do in our lives. We're not supposed to live independent lives and only for ourselves.
I think the spirit of a squire is see the best in everybody and bring it out of them.
Squires are faithful, squires are welcoming, squires are loyal, squires are strong. It's the mark that you leave on the school, on the town, on people that go here, people that you meet, how you fulfill your purpose, the purpose that God put you on this earth for.
For me, it means I live what I believe, that it isn't just stuff that's on a page.
Yeah, it's tough sometimes from a financial standpoint, but there is an entire community of people who believe so strongly in what we do here that they're willing to help invest in not just their own families, but in growing the Delone Catholic family.
It's incredibly important to us that we sacrifice that for our children and for all the kids that need these places to grow and thrive in our area.
I always say there's something about Delone kids. There's just this magic to them. They're very accepting, and everyone feels very much like they belong. It's a family.
And I think that has transitioned now to the spirit of a Squire, but I think it kind of means the same thing, that we are a big family and we will be there for one another. It's not just, you know, outliers coming together in a school. It is, once you're here, you're a Squire and you're part of this family.
We're small, but our reach is expansive.
Delone means my life because I've been here, seems like forever.
The one thing that I think is the most important thing is that Delone is always here. I think that it's important for the community, it's important for the families, it's important for the kids. When I retire, I don't want to go unless I know who sits in my chair in my office is going to make sure that the school stays where it needs to be.
I am proud that I'm a Squire and that I come from a legacy of Squires. We're really excited to be able to have that hit the airwaves, and honestly, Dave and I needed more airtime tonight, so that's part of why we played it too. It also felt like an appropriate context for this video, given that our members of the Hall of Honor certainly embody the spirit of a Squire. And today we have inducted the 9th class into the Delone Catholic High School Hall of Honor, swelling its ranks to 45 members. The members of this class have accomplished much during their lives, and they have brought a great deal of distinction to Delone Catholic and now to its Hall of Honor. There is no shortage of deserving candidates who should be honored for distinguished service to Delone Catholic High School as doers of the word over the past 80-plus years. Current and future members of the Delone Catholic family are sure to distinguish themselves in ways deserving recognition. We encourage you to nominate others whom you feel should be considered for the class of 2025 and beyond. Full details about the eligibility requirements and the nomination process, as well as photos and biographies of previous inductees, can be found by going to www.delonecatholic.org and clicking on About, then History, and then Hall of Honor, or you can just scan the QR code in the program at your place. Additionally, I'd like to thank Thrivent, Molly, and Shannon. Thank you so much for being a part of this and helping us and talking about how this partnership, we really kind of gel together. Our missions are one and the same, and we're really excited to be part of it with you. Father Dwight Schleyline, we're thankful to have you here and be part of this and offer the blessings. Kevin, it's been great to work with you again. Brianna Rochelle, photography. Bree, it's always good to have you here at our events. Santoni's Marketplace and Catering. Our maintenance staff, Tony Poist from the class of 78, Barry Eiler and Austin Wright. Our student volunteers that helped us to set up. My colleagues on the A-team, Julia Furman, who did so much work behind the scenes on the marketing and all of the communications for this, Amy Miller and Matt Thomas, and a special way, Stephanie Leader, who does all the hard work and heavy lifting in these things so that I can just show up and talk to you and have a good night. Stephanie, thank you so much. And for everyone else at Delone Catholic who helped in any way. It is a personal privilege and honor for me to be a part of the Delone Catholic High School Hall of Honor selection and induction every year. I've been fortunate to know each member of this class personally, and most of them well. I learned more than a little bit of math from Susan Arigo in 7th and 8th grade. I know well how long ago that was, so I'm guessing when she started teaching, she was like 9 to still look like this. On the other hand, I didn't learn any math from Ann Kerr because I was here during the St. Joseph's years. But she has been a wonderful colleague, and knowing her gave me a good home for a PNC Park giveaway mug that celebrated her Pirates beating my Orioles in the 1971 World Series. No, I wasn't born, but yes, I'm still disappointed in the result. And some of my best high school memories involve Dave Lawrence, who always reminded us catchers to have the pitchers mix it up. Change speeds, Pep. Throw them the curve. I don't know Steve Mathias all that well, but I have had the good fortune to work with him when he was the keynote speaker for the 75th anniversary celebration and through this process. When I called him to let him know of his selection to the Hall, to my great shock, he picked up on the first ring. How did you know I wasn't going to call about your car warranty? I thank you for giving me a story to tell forever. Of course the Assistant Secretary General takes my calls. And I sat in Jack Miller's office and Chris Klein's too as a student here, out in the trailer, outside Jack and outside Chris, as a student trying to figure out a career path. I don't ever remember telling them that I wanted to be in high school forever, but here I am. And then when I worked here, Jack would come and sit in my office. What I wouldn't give for him to walk through my door again to talk Penn State football, wood carving, or any other range of topics. These people have been very influential in my life, and I hope that you all understand why they have been honored, and I am thankful that they have been nominated and that we will be able to honor them forever. At the conclusion of this program, I would ask the members of this year's class and those who accepted plaques on behalf of our posthumous recipient to come back up. We're actually going to use the blank white wall there in the cafeteria to get a good backdrop for we want a group picture. And also, since there are so many previous inductees, we would like to get a group picture of all of our Hall of Honor inductees here tonight. We're so blessed by so many of you who have done so much and served as inspiration for us. And typically, we've also taken group shots of family and friends who are here for each inductee. So if you want to gather and see Bree up there, that would be great as well. We'll make the link to those photos available in the coming weeks once Bree has them to us. Again, thank you for joining us tonight for this wonderful celebration of Delone Catholic High School and these incredibly deserving individuals who have done so much to improve Delone Catholic and the world around them. We are so grateful for all they have done and the example they have set for other members of the Delone Catholic family. Please join me again in congratulating the Delone Catholic High School Hall of Honor class of 2024.